Okay, so after the test of the draw slice, I figured I should clarify that there are actually situations where it's useful. It actually shows up in some of the historical manuals where it's called a Schnitt in German, which is a slice. One of the ways in which you can use that, for example, is as a counter against a deflectional parry. So if I receive the cut here like this, basically let it roll off, and then use the energy to turn that into a cut. If my opponent does that, and I'm fast enough, I can control the arm before that happens. Because the moment I feel that they're leaving the bind is where I have information about what's happening. So for this, I don't actually need to do a whole lot of damage because I'm controlling the opponent. This is what it looks like with two hands. Parry comes through and boom, and rotate. And the important thing here is I need to break the structure. I can't just do this because then they're still going to hit me. But if I actually use my body and step into it, I can then control it. You can't do this and expect to get any control over the opponent. It needs to be on the strong of your blade, so further down, because here I can actually push properly. So if I hold out my arm here, you try to slice with this part, try to control my arm. No, it's not happening. I control your blade. But if you move there, now push, I can't do anything now. So you need to use the mechanical advantage. Yeah, this really breaks my structure. So you saw I probably had to take this step to prevent myself from being thrown. That can even happen. It doesn't even need to slice through. However, compared to the test that I did, in case of an arm, you have way less surface area. You know, compared to the torso, you have this entire area, which is, you know, relatively flat-ish in the big picture compared to an arm. So you have way more contact with the edge on the cloth at a given time. Whereas on the arm, there's just a bit of contact here with the edge. So if I start to slice here, there's a much better chance of actually getting through the cloth and doing something. Let alone if you imagine there was no scarf there. I've got a bit of neck here. So if I do this, that is going to be a very effective slice. And you see that shown in the manuals against the neck and the face.
It's already scratchy.
Yeah. So you could actually give somebody a Joker smile if you put the blade here and slice that way. Plus, if you imagine using the other hand as well in half sorting, this is one thing, you know, how much I can do here. But if I take the other hand and grab the blade and push here, now I can actually grapple with that. And I have a better chance of slicing as well. Plus, again, the neck is exposed, so it doesn't really matter. So that's perfectly effective, of course. And some of the manuals also show slices to the leg. Now, this could be difficult depending on what they're wearing, but again, you have a decent amount of curvature on the leg, more so than on the torso. So there's, again, less contact or less surface area in contact with the edge. And if I really step in here and slice aggressively, I may have a better chance of getting through. Also, if I get a slice here, watch what happens with a guard. So if I push all the way through, I can actually strike with the guard, and you can imagine how devastating that would be against the neck. If you follow through aggressively, you would jam the guard into the throat, which of course in and of itself is not a good time. Also, like I covered in the video about the coup de Jarnac, which apparently involved a slice to the leg, the inside of the thigh or the hamstring, or in some kind of way. This is also something that could work. So let's say we're in a bind. Let's say I strike it aside, and instead of doing a hewing cut to the leg, I just do the slice, and then I'm still ready for a thrust. The one interpretation that we had was they jam it in on the inside of the leg and again, putting the entire body weight into it, that should be a lot more effective than what you saw in that test. So this is nonsense, basically. This would not be effective. And apparently, based on some of the comments I've seen, it seems that a lot of people think this is how you use a sword, because there were a number of comments saying, well, how do you actually injure somebody then? Well, like this. You don't slice like this. You actually follow through with a percussive cut, and you bring your body weight, put your body weight into it. This is way more of an effective cut compared to this. And of course, if that doesn't work, you can always clobber them. Anyway, thanks for the help. And hope that clarified things a little bit.